away for recording. Um, Welcome everyone. So today I have a few interns that will be shadowing me. There's Nadia, who is coming on as a UI UX design intern, and there's Abrar. Maybe Abrar, I just met you, so maybe you can tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Okay, thank you. So my name is Abrar. So yeah, currently I live in Jakarta right now, and I graduated from Universitas Prasetya Mulia in Jakarta in 2 years ago, and I work in like the IT company in Sydney named SiteMinder. If you have
I know a
ever
SiteMinder.
you know, SiteMinder, yeah. I've
Yeah,
been working there for a year, and then I came back to Jakarta a few months ago. Yeah,
incredible, incredible.
yeah,
SiteMinder does channel management, I think.
yeah. Correct. Yes.
Very,
Uh-huh.
very popular option here in Mali. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you.
I'll introduce myself. My name is Jing. I'm the CEO here at Bukit Vista. And for the interns, you'll be following me around today to look at different things that we do here at Bukit Vista. I'll introduce you to Andre, who is leading our hospitality online guest support, air support, and reservation team. Over to Andre.
Yep. So hello guys. Nice to meet you here. I am Andre from hospitality. We call it HAR, host air support and reservation. We are the one who handle the guests. We are the one who nurturing the guest network. We're all in it. So nice to meet you guys. So my fun fact is just that I love very much singing. So currently in Yogyakarta with the other teams that here in Yogyakarta as well.
I've never heard Andre sing, so this is like kind of a myth to me. But yeah, I've seen pictures of him sing, but no videos, only pictures. All right, thank you very much, Andre. Andre, would you like to introduce anybody else on your team?
Yep. So here actually we have two people others than me. It's Cynthia and one is also Nadine, but Nadine is not here yet. So Cynthia is one of our HR member as well. She's been doing air support and hosting in Nusa Penida because we have also have a team, a special team in Nusa Penida, and Cynthia's the one who in charge in there. But I will let Cynthia introduce herself more.
Yep. Okay. Hi guys. Good morning. My name is Cynthia, and right now I'm currently working as a HR team, hospitality team, and also I'm working as well on the PR thing here in Bukit Vista. And my fun fact is lately I love watching social experiments video on YouTube. So yeah, nice to meet you. I hope we could get along.
Fantastic. All right, thank you very much. Actually, I forgot. Nadia, do you have a fun fact about yourself? Something that is a good conversation starter, so that when people see you, they're like, "Oh yeah, Nadia does this."
Fun fact, I love learning language actually, and also watching, I don't know, like kind of like things on YouTube. Like recently, I've been watching or like learning about World War I and World War II, and also
Me
about the
too.
Civil War. Really?
Yeah, I watched
Okay.
Oversimplify.
Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, me too. I love that.
I love it too.
Yeah. Yeah. I love oversimplified. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, yeah, wow. Yeah, I found I got into these periodic troughs on YouTube, and it was like First
Yeah.
Revolution, World War. Yeah. That was really cool. It was really good to
Yeah.
kind of see
That's ha-
the history behind history. Okay,
yeah.
great.
That's habit.
Excellent. So we like history. Yes, finally somebody who likes history. Okay, Abrar, do you have any fun facts?
Yes. Maybe it's about like currently because it's the pandemic, so uh, I love to try new hobby. So right now, me and my brother currently like loves to go for cycling.
Nice.
So yeah, we love to just go around the city in Jakarta here.
Wow.
Yeah,
I've seen this as a new sport
yes,
everywhere. People just go around and bikes are replacing cars for the first time in India.
yeah,
Okay.
correct.
What about you, sir? Your fun fact, please.
My fun fact is what's a fun fact?
What
The
about
Bollywood one is kind of old fashioned. I was in a Bollywood movie one time, so I starred next to Hrithik Roshan and Aishwarya Rai, these ancient Bollywood stars now. But my most recent fun fact. Oh, I have a recent fun fact. So my daughter started. This is actually kind of funny. We went to East Bali last week and we discovered a cashew farm or a cashew processing plant. And then we went there and we found like 10 kilos of reject cashews, but they were still pretty good. They just, they didn't have the same size. So they were rejected. So we took it and we've been making cashew milk and it's actually pretty good. So I've been drinking a lot of cashew milk recently. So that's my fun fact. Anyway, and somewhat of a luxury because I realized cashew milk is very expensive and we just use it like it ain't no thing. So that part is pretty fun. All right. Anyway, that's my most recent fun fact. All right, back to Andre.
Yes, so today I'm going to start the HAR Scrum. We call it Scrum, and I'll be the chair for today. And I think Cynthia should be the secretary today, so help me write down every notes and every important part that we talked about the Scrum today. So Cynthia, are you ready for that? Okay,
Yes.
I will start it first from the campaign that we have. First of all, we're going to open HAR2. This is inquiry optimization 1.0. This is campaign that from Nadine. If we could see the final update here, we have total inquiry is 113. The total request to book is 6. But Nadine has already implemented 2 programs to support this kind of campaign. But the total inquiry conversion is only 5, and the total request to book conversion is only 3. I haven't really write the what's the percentage of it, but if we could try 5 divided by 113 or 100. It's only 4.4%, which is it's not on our SLA yet because our SLA is 15% inquiry converted to book. But we should also considering about the spam that happened last 2 days ago. 2 days ago happened spam, which is like 20 more inquiries is coming to this Airbnb from the Airbnb profile, and I have told Nadine actually to count it and to divide it, but I think Nadine is haven't do it because we have to count the total of spam that that happening here as well. So actually, for the total request to book conversion is already on the SLA because our SLA is 50% request to book in converted, and we got 3 converted from 6 requests to book. So which is it's on our SLA as well. So if we could see about the final update from the data here, so we still have a problem uh, on the funnel C1 is total inquiry conversion, which is it's pretty low there. Let's say the spam is which this is this is the dummy data. Let's say 93, 98. So 5 divided by 93, 100. So it's still 5.3%, which is it's not good because we have to reach like 50%, which is we still have to increase 10% more about this. So actually, I would like to ask some help from Nadine about what things that actually happened here, but Nadine is not here. Maybe we can speak later. Or do you have any comment about this? I would like to hear from Jing maybe first.
Sure. The first thing I would say is this is good because you can kind of microanalyze this in a way. Um, the I thought about this a little bit more, Andre, and what I'm thinking about is okay. The most crucial element here is the total number of times the program has been implemented. For some of the other pieces of data, we either have copies of that in the BI file, right? So what I need to know is what does it mean the total number of program implemented? Meaning, is it like how many programs we have, or how many times we have been using that program? For example, if we say that we're going to do training to teach everybody how to answer inquiries better, okay? So is that the program, or is the number of times that we get together to do that program the activity? Over to Andre.
Actually, the program that implemented this we have two, which is it's about the analyze and also the follow up tester. But we have divided into the what's uh, a more structured like we do have on B1 or B2 something like that.
Okay,
So
got it. So this is essentially not really complete yet, then,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So what we're looking for is not the total number of programs. We're looking for the total number of times the program has been implemented, meaning that it's been actually used. So inquiry analysis and then follow up. These are sort of um, they're either going to be continuous or they're going to be, let's say, uh, used one time and then you measure. Okay. So for this one, I would say that we need to start measuring how many, yeah, like maybe how many days the program is being implemented, or um, ideally, you need to track some sort of activity. So it won't be just, oh, we started the program there, we did something at the beginning, and then we didn't do anything, and then we just kind of reverted back to old habits again.
Mm,
So ideally, it should be something that sort of records that particular change. On on this one, I was wondering. I'll have a sub discussion with Andre later, but there might be a way that you can simplify this actually. So because you already have some of the data already in BI, and yesterday we did say yeah, you can simplify it by just looking at the first stage and the second stage of the funnel. But I'm wondering if you can simplify it even more by just essentially adding one activity here, which is how many times have you been implementing a program here?
I see.
The more times you've been implementing the program, and seeing if that conversion rate, the BI funnel, changes. Okay. Anyway, okay, that part looks good for now, but I'm already imagining ways that we can improve
Mm.
it in the future. Okay.
Okay. Okay, maybe I would like to help. I would like to ask some help from Cynthia to write down there that me and Jing will have a sub discussion to talk about to simplify this funnel here to not double documenting the data here. So just going to simplify that. Thank you, sir, for that. Before that, Mbak Cynthia, do you have any comments about this funnel for now?
No, it's okay.
Okay, thank you. We'll move to HR 1. This is Loyalty Program 1.0. So yeah, the final update is we have here. So we also wanted to track about the new funnel total reach and also positive review and negative review because we want to track it like based on SLA that we have. So per yesterday, total case that check out we have 9, and we have already sent goodbye message is 9. So by yesterday as well, we have already doing case outreach, but the total review that we have is only 2, which is it's not there yet because we want to have a 50% guest bookings to review. So we only have 2, but it's all positive, which is not negative. So because we have 90% SLA to be a positive in review, it is achieved, but the total review is not achieved yet. I would like to hear another explanation from Cynthia, please, Cynthia.
Yep. Thank you, Andre, for the time. So yes, actually, right now we are having the total checkout. This is for 3 October. Then we have a total checkout 9 because this is the message 9. The program that I still implemented right now is still the postcard thing. And then also reach out the guests like 3 days after their checkout to make sure that they left us review. So yeah, uh, that's the thing for me and
So the bottleneck is on the total leaf review.
yep, exactly. So I'm not sure since I think that's also a part of the things that we can't control since it's on the guest side, right? So I have think that maybe I will reach them at like maximum is 2 times, and then after the 2 times, yeah, it's all on the guest side. So maybe I need your help as well to maintain for the host when you are hosting the guest, and then we give the guest experience during their stay.
Okay, so if I know it, so the current program that we're doing is to do 2 time of outreach, yeah, at least for after the checkout.
Sorry.
Also, the current strategy that we're doing is doing the reach out to the cash free outreach, which is 2 times
Yep.
after the checkout.
Yep, exactly. And for the next time, maybe we'd like to pivot it as we have discussed with the PD team to continue the previous initiative about the automated coupon.
Oh, right. Thank you, that's Cynthia. So actually, yeah, I think it's also the bottleneck is on the podcast review, and Cynthia has been doing something that yeah trying to support to increase the total lift ratio. And I think one of the thing that we already have is the feed by message, which Cynthia is going to develop that one more again with using some postcard or something. I think that's the best way, and that's the things that we can prioritize for now because we have already the system is already there. So we're just going to develop and we're just going to add some ingredient inside the system over there. So it will help. It will eventually help Cynthia to increase the total test that we review. I would like to hear
Yep,
from the comment.
exactly.
Yes, Cynthia. I'm sorry.
Yep. But maybe Andre, I think we still have also discussion about the SLA thing. To reach the view. Should we mention it here or should we have a sub discussion about it?
About what, Cynthia? I'm sorry. I missed the first.
SLA, the changes of SLA number.
Oh, I think we can discuss it later, Cynthia. Yep, your proposal and many others. Thank you. I would like to hear maybe from Jing. Do you have any comments about this, sir?
Yeah, sure. Two comments. One is, what does guest re-outreach mean? It's the second time we reach out to them, Cynthia.
Yes.
Yes, sir, exactly.
Okay, I would then classify that as maybe B1 and B2, right? So the first stage is guest goodbye message, so B1, and then the second stage is B2. Otherwise, it's a little bit the naming mechanism. I think just needs to be clarified there. So it's the first stage of stage B and the second stage of stage B. Yep, that's better. Yeah. The previous way written communication sort of implies that the B is the goodbye message, and the guest re-outreach is part of the goodbye message, which kind of creates a bit of confusing, right? So now I think it's better. Okay, great.
What is your second comment, sir? I think you have two comments.
Uh, my second comment was, oh yeah, the second comment is more on this, right? So what Shindia is doing right now is actually a program, right, on the thing. Shinti, if you want to actually make it more simple, right? Meaning that you could use it no matter what you do to change your program. Stage B can just be Shintia's program, right? And you've implemented it 11 times so far, okay? And it's created two outputs. So basically, what it looks like your input is 9, your activity is 11, and your output is 2. That method simplifies it even more. So let's say later on, Cynthia, you think of you're going to do a different thing. You're maybe instead of a goodbye message, you do a video call, right? So whatever it is, you just track the number of times that you do a particular activity, and it abstracts away the idea of that you will do one particular thing. The reason why that's a little bit better, Cynthia, is it creates two things. One, it creates this idea of abstraction, which means that you don't necessarily need to be always locked into goodbye messages and guest outreach. You could try something new, right? The second thing is you can organize a team around a particular activity. So let's say, hey, welcome Dista, good to see you back. Let's say you bring Dista, or you bring Maria, or you bring Asan, or you bring some of the new people into it. Now, the team could have their own activity that they record to drive that part of the funnel. You don't necessarily need to know what that activity is, right? You just need to see, does that activity efficiently convert the input into the output? So, for example, right now we are essentially 9 on the total checkouts, 11 on the total number of activities, and then we are at 2 at the total reviews. Imagine this, Cynthia. imagine it looked like 919, right? You had 9 checkouts, you did one activity, and you got 9 reviews. That would be amazing, right? It wouldn't matter what the activity was, but you would know that activity is super efficient, right? Maybe that would be a group call. Maybe you invite all your guests together and you say, hey, look, I want to have you all get together for a group call and wish you a group goodbye. And you do like a little, and that might be it. That might be a scalable way to do it, Cynthia. Like you could just invite guests in for a gigantic group farewell, you get everyone together, and that's one activity that could have massive output. So that's what I mean by you can sort of abstract away the goodbye message or the guest outreach because that is within the activity. Just kind of plot it as activity. So that keeps the innovation window open. All right, that's just for more consideration. But let me tie back up to Andre. Andre, does that make sense now in terms of your program, right? So your program is essentially what's the number of inquiries, what's the number of Andre's program, and then what's the number of oh, sorry, it was actually Nadine's program. What's the number of Nadine's program? And what is the output of that?
Yeah, I think it's more simple, and we can just see that. Yeah, from the input, the activity, and the output easily check it. It's like I mean,
Yep.
like, yeah. But I think, yeah, we on the funnel we need to describe it more. I think, or not describe, but break it down. I mean, like if we have this, how many of you have implemented this, and how many you do the outreach, and maybe on the other programs. So creating another funnel to track it there as well.
And one more thing, Andre, one more. I just noticed, Cynthia, you don't need to track positive reviews per se, right? Because your SLA is not to get, well, it is to get positive reviews actually. So
Yeah.
maybe you could keep it. Yeah, okay. Go ahead and keep it. Yeah, go ahead and keep it. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you, sir, for the advice. So yeah, I think it's good to me and Jing have a sub discussion to simplify this kind of funnel in every campaigns that we have here. But for now, we're going to use this kind of funnel first.
Okay.
So later on, we'll move. Maybe tomorrow we can move with a new structure again. So here's is my campaign about guest engagement, which is me is the campaign manager. Total check-ins that we have per yesterday is we have 19, and total program that implemented is about the guest morning message reminder. And I will see that from the total check-ins, the total host, total host that assigned is only 9, but the total checkout is also only 9. I haven't seen the 10, the last 10 that happened here. So I think the bottleneck is there as well. But if you see on the funnel E, the total bed experience is only 3. So we created this funnel to see the total bed experience that they actually, because on the other hand, we want to also make sure about the check-in, also the communication rate on Airbnb. So we want to see how much is total bed experience, but not into the bed review. So how can we actually see the bad experience but turn the guests into they didn't leave a bad review for us because we have a good engagement with them. So it's only counted as bad experience that the host can fix. Let's say happened on the Villa Visca, the guests are facing with bad condition about the water issues like that. So they're not leaving a bad review, but they only feeling about the bad experience, and so it's will not convert it into the review. So yeah, total the bottleneck is on the host assigned. So I still need to all HAR to actually assign their self into the, on every check-ins that happen on each day. Actually like that. So that's the update of my funnel. Do you have any comments about this? Maybe from Jing, I would like first.
Same comment as before, Andre. So total of program implemented means the total 9 times you practice the program, not the total number of programs. So only that. But from what I understand, then that would be 9. Then is that correct?
Program, yeah, it should be 9, sir.
Okay, got it. Okay, so that's it. Yeah. Your program is the host assignment.
Yeah.
Once again, try to abstract away the actual activity, right? More just like it's your program activity. Once you've kind of locked this is just a visualization thing. Once you've locked it in, total host assignment, then you start believing that this is fixed. This will always be this program. Whereas right now, you shouldn't fix the program because you haven't figured out what is going to actually deliver the SLA. So in that dimension, I think keep it where you can sort of like printer ink. You can change out a cartridge and put a new cartridge, and keep that part flexible.
Okay, noted, sir. Thank you for that. I think that's almost the same comment, but also more about yeah, it's a little bit also about the simplify and things such. Thank you, sir. And I'm moving to Community Support 1.0. This is my campaign as well. So we see that the total case check out here on funnel A is we have 9, but the total bad review reported on community is 0, but the total bad experience reported on community on CSM is 3. So well, because of that, we don't have a total bad review that answered because the guest is not leaving a bad review for us. So this is just about the how can we track about how many bad review and experience that we have and report it into community so community can support their self and the partner to develop the property more and more about this. So basically that the update on this. I am moving to the finance report here. So this is there's actually some issue to update about this since Mas Bayu is telling me that the data can be taken from the database, but Mas Bayu say to Cynthia that the data cannot be taken from the database and we need to take from Joseph. But Joseph is not. Joseph it seems like didn't have any data of it. I would like to hear from Cynthia first. So before that, that's why this funnel is not updated yet. We don't have anything to update about this because we need to talk with Joseph or Mas Bayu to know more about this. So maybe from Cynthia, what's your report that you got from Mas Bayu or maybe from Joseph about this?
Yep. Thank you, Andre, for the time. So yes, exactly. So yesterday, no, 2 days ago, before the Scrum, that Andre asked me to update about the SLF on the finance report, especially with the OT18 and also the total payment, the payout that we have received. But Andre told me that Masayu said that all of the data is all reject, and then in the morning I confirmation with Mas Bayu. Mas Bayu said that, oh, we haven't had that data yet about the OTA and also the payment receipts. And then when I'm coming to Joseph, and Joe said that, oh yeah, you should count it manually. So yeah, there's still like miscommunication here and also misleading as well. So we will pull and fill this um, SLA, especially as on the final update, right after everything is set. So yeah, that's
Thank you, Cynthia. I would like to hear some comment from Jing maybe.
No comments. I mean, the way I see this, Cynthia, is it should be actually run. Yeah, it's sort of like you guys are taking a look at it, but Joseph should be definitely involved. I think in a more active way on this. Um, And I think you'll probably also need who's covering which SLA right now in the funnel and stage, because I don't see any names there, right?
Oh
But
yeah, yeah.
this is done as a group, so everybody is sort of involved. But yeah, try to distribute the responsibility so it's clear who's covering which particular stage. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you, sir, for the comments, sir. So actually, all the campaign is already discussed here. So on every HAR Scrum, we will mostly talk about the campaigns, and the pivot is the one that is supported on the campaign. So I'm expecting on the next maybe Scrum, we will change the name of this to make sure whether if it's supporting which campaign. Let's say Nadine is G3.1, so it should be supporting the HAR2. So maybe Nadine should change this into HAR 2.1 if it is the first pivot. So maybe for HAR 2.2 if it is the second pivot, something like that. So we will not talk more about the pivot, but maybe I'd like to ask Cynthia, do you have any pivot that you want to talk about this? Or we can just move to discussion management.
no, we can just move to the discussion later.
Okay, thank you, Cynthia. I
Cool.
will
Heads up, everyone. Quick one, Andre. So this is a practice that we started in marketing, and I want want to bring it over here because I think it'll be very effective. So when you have, let's say, a friction or something on a pivot card, please please share that, right? Meaning, think of it as like a party, okay? Um, like, don't think of it as like, oh, this is my shame. I don't want anybody to see my house. You know, it's all dirty and everything. No, think of it as like I want to have a party. So invite everyone in, share your data because that's like kind of like your refreshments in a party. Share your data, share your understanding, tell the narrative, and tell us where exactly you feel stuck. If you're stuck, or if you're not feeling stuck, you're feeling like you're crushing it. Tell us about that story too. So ultimately, the pivots do support the campaigns, as Andre just pointed out. But there are going to be times, as we all know, where it's not working the way we expect. So that's where we need to get creative as a group. We need to, sort of invite other people in. Can you take a look at what I've been doing? What would you do differently? And really, really share that out. Okay. So the mechanism for doing that, there's a few. One, you can tag a specific person that you want to invite to help you out on your Trello card. So that way they'll see the notification and then you can engage in dialogue right onto the Trello card, right? The second way is if both of you have not been able to figure it out, raise it up to the team level. So just bring that discussion into the discussion paper. And that's where we as a group can take a look and try to unlock it. Now, there's a lot of things that we can do in HAR to improve the way we perform hospitality. And there's a lot of people here now too, as well, that want to help. So let's establish that as a culture now. I think that was a really good time. We have a very small, very tight knit core group. So now's a good opportunity to scale that culture and get more people to embrace that. Yeah? All right. So for Andre and Cynthia, the slight change in behavior is just prepare the topics of conversation in the discussion for whatever you feel might be getting stuck. If it's like, hey, I sent out 15 requests for reviews and nobody seems to want to get back to me, bring that up. Hey, I've been using this policy for a month, but I don't seem to be moving my numbers. Bring it up. Let's have more eyes look on it. Okay? All right.
Oh, good. Thank you, sir, for the comments and feedback. So yeah, this is the pivot level of supporting the campaign because the same campaign is the one who's supporting us always. That supporting each other, so we have a clear vision and clear things that activity that we're doing here in the particular chapter that happens. So usually after we talk about the campaigns and maybe a little bit about the Trello card pivots, we're going to talk about the discussion management, like Jing said, that we will have some topics from the every member that they have already put there. Maybe Cynthia has something that you want to talk. Maybe we have something that we have basically discussed it about here, or maybe we want to share opportunity or share idea here. So it's the best way. How can you actually discuss with the other team, and also maybe the other chapter can also saw this and see this, and also put some their comments here about the discussion over here. So the first thing, maybe I would come to the last discussion that we have with Nadine. It's about the inquiry workshop. So we have already conclusion because we saw that Nadine already creating a lot of bookings, which is monthly and not only month, which is like 2 or 3 months. So we're trying to see the success that happened on Nadine. So what actually happened from Nadine, we want to implement what things that Nadine did to the guests. So Nadine is actually dealing. She said that she want to be like a salesperson over here. So which is salesperson is most hustle and mastering the products, communicating easily, be more friendly with people. So that's the thing that we take a look and we put our concern there because we want to create more booking. We want to create more in conversion on this time. But we talk also about the friction that we have over here. So I find out that my friction is the guest didn't came back. So I believe that the using the WhatsApp is most easier to communicate over there. But I saw Cynthia's friction is pretty unique because Cynthia's suggestion is pretty unique, which chat with the guests using WhatsApp. And Cynthia said that maybe we need people that dedicated on Facebook at the time because sometimes Facebook is really really there is a lot of activity there, and the cases coming, the answers so fast, so we had need to come back so fast as well. So the conclusion that we have from the first inquiry workshop is we need to change the message that we're still doing the follow-up practice to the guests. The second one is we need to change the message that we use to the guests, which is we're going to be more friendly. And the second one is, yeah, act like you're a real sales over here, which is more hustle and also master the products and saying like, hey, this, yeah, we're more, in Indonesia, we call it SKSD, so kenal so dekat, kind like that. So it makes engage more with the guests. So also we want to communicating guests from the WhatsApp if we believe that it's the most easiest way to communicate. And yeah, from Cynthia, there's a suggestion about a person dedicated on WhatsApp. So since Jing is not in this question, I would like to ask Jing, maybe do you have anything that you saw on this particular case that happened on the inquiry that not converted, or in many things that happen on inquiry? So.
Sure, I'd love to. There's a lot of things I can imagine, and I think you guys are already on the right track. Nadine definitely has the correct approach. We gotta hustle. We gotta sell. So it doesn't mean that I don't know why people associate like, oh, hustling as something kind of dirty or unscrupulous. It should be like, think of it this way: you're trying to be more helpful than just helpful, right? So, for example, maybe when we do an inspection, this was very common when I worked in real estate. We never set up an inspection with a single property. We set up an inspection with a chain of properties, right? We say, hey, you should see this one, and this one, 2 or 3 at least. If somebody came to us as they were buying a property, right? Let's say they were buying a property from my agency. We would never just say, okay, this is the property that you inquired about. We'd go, great. Hey, we have this property and we have 5 more that we want to show you today, right? Because we want to be able to capture that deal. And by extending that inspection list, you're being more helpful so that they don't need to go to a different party to do a different inspection. You're sort of queuing things up for them. Like a DJ, right? You're sort of not just playing one song and then silence, you're keeping the rhythm going. So that could be one way. Against already finding a villa, the way that I see that we can overcome that is be fast, right? If you're fast and you're engaging and you are essentially offering a lot of reassurance that the guest will find something with you, they might stop shopping, right? If you say, hey, look, I have hundreds of villas, I'm sure we'll find something that's suitable for you. Just let me understand what you're looking for. Okay, great, tell me more about that. Okay, great, tell me more about that. Now you see they're spending like not just 1 minute with you. They spend 5, 10, 15 minutes with you. Okay, great, we have an inspection set up this afternoon. This person will be escorting you to see this property, right? So essentially, you're not leaving any time where they are essentially able to leave. This is a funny thing I've noticed, right? Let me share a story. So a lot of times I notice when we have clients, I worked at I didn't work there, but we were partnering with a interior design company. When the client comes to visit the company, right? The client flies from Jakarta, the client flies from Singapore. I noticed what the company does is pretty interesting. So they're doing some work for the client, and it's still in the initial phase, right? They haven't necessarily gotten the deal yet. They're still in negotiations. The company seeking the client will make sure the client never leaves, ever, from their control. They'll make sure they arrange the client's transportation from the airport. They'll make sure that they get the first coffee meeting in the morning. They'll make sure that they get the lunch meeting. They'll even take them out to dinner, the whole thing. And then they'll have somebody bring them back to the hotel. The reason for that is because that way the client doesn't really have any opportunity to go shopping for another interior designer on that trip while they're here. So think of it that way, right? Think of that's kind of like the normal amount of engagement that most companies not on the internet would have to put in order to get the business. They would stay engaged with the client throughout the entirety of the trip. So I think that's one approach to it. What can we do to increase that engagement? Now, once you're able to do that, then the idea of applying that to social media, applying that to other things becomes more clear, because social media is just essentially an extension of that experience, but now placed online, right? So how can I engage constantly with this person? So that will affect how you advertise, that will affect how you message, because you already know how to keep that engagement going, right? Um, you need practice doing this. It doesn't happen right away. If you ask me, why can I, why is Jing able to talk to everybody for unlimited amounts of time? It's practice, right? You kind of like can go from one subject to the next. But I think at this point, just try, if not converting a deal, just try to keep the engagement level as high as possible. We have a lot of time. One client we can spend hours with, that's fine, right? But try to keep that engagement level high so that they don't have too many ways to find a different type of option at the moment. Okay? And we can fulfill any order, everyone. We can fulfill any order. We got people. Me, Rizal, and Wayana are out looking for whatever you guys want, and we can make partnerships with pretty much anything in Bali at this point, right? So just tell us what you need, and we'll go find something that you need, or sell whatever we have first. Take care of our existing partners first. But if they don't want anything in that inventory, then sell something that we don't have yet.
I think that's a super. I think yeah, it's about how can we actually lock the guest, I said. So it's like they don't really have any other options to go with the other property, inspect the other property. So the things that I might think is we need some kind of an idea of it's like property family. It's like, let's say if the guest is looking to Apsara, so we have another option from Blue Apsara near there, so we can arrange that. Okay, if you want to visit this, we have this one as well. We have.
Exactly.
I think,
Exactly.
yeah,
A tour. Bring them on a virtual property tour, right?
yeah.
Don't just see one thing and then go back home, right? See everything. Yeah. Yeah, very good. Like a family visit. Yeah.
And also I remember that Cynthia have one of idea that she haven't really implement or share, which is about the calendar of visits. Cynthia, how do you think about that? After you saw that she already Flora has this.
Yep. But the things we haven't discussed it more. But I think it will be great since we could document it every guest that has visited our place. So it could be easier to be tracked. Like King said, that we have to keep the engagement high. So I think that could be one way to help that project or that program to be implemented. And yeah, we can track like maybe A has visit Villa B and then what should we do? Oh, so she is interested in the kind of Villa B. We can also relate to the family listing as we have already family listing, so we could offer her kind of like the same villa like she visit at the very first time. Yeah, that's the thing that I thought.
Thank you, Cynthia. I think from that, it's like a more calendar or things like that. We can create easier way to track and not crash with the other people that want to make a visit on this particular time, make it this on the particular time. So thank you for that. I also thank you for reaching that, giving it.
But Andre,
Yes.
yes, thank you. I think that could be identifying what is the villa types of villa residence that guests want, that guests like. So, yeah, I think we could have a sub discussion about the calendar.
Yeah. I think by having by taking a look on what kind of property that most of the guests like, it's important because we can have a good suggestion. Like I talked to Joseph yesterday, so I want to see Joseph, which property that you did that most you got property that you able to sell to the agent, and Joseph saying like a property that big and cheap. So okay, we can prioritize. Let's say Joseph, you can prioritize to sell this kind of property to see your next result. So maybe it can be another reference to the MB. So we want to take a look on the big property that is not really exclusive, but it will be impactful for the agent, because agent is usually look for something that cheap, so they can mark up their own price for that. And, yeah, thinks that that's the perfect idea of this. I would like to move to another sub discussion here, which is the HAR library. Okay, I will open up this one. So I saw that actually HR have a library over here. So we have a library about the best practice. We have a library about how to do this and do that. But I think in this, we need to kind of update it. We need to update it like every time if we find out a good best practice, good this or that, because it's also happen on the product development. I saw that product development has a good library over there. So let's say 2 weeks ago, product development have a good best practice about how can they find their listing list or how they can fix this kind of bug. And then today they have a good best another best practice about how can we actually put how can we fix this kind of bug. So it will be updated most of the time because the things that actually important for all of people that can that need to see. And on the other hand, it will also helps the new onboarding on new trial to see what kind of best practice that we have on HAR. So I'm suggesting that we need to have our fixed library, but I don't really know what kind of things that I was thinking that it's like the onboarding things. It's like onboarding things that we need to have like maybe first about the PRM, which is we have already out there to update it every day, which is help from the ambient community. We have a Toolkit. How can we use Toolkit time by time? If Toolkit was updated in the new version, bigger. If we have a new things that what a new feature that happens on bigger. So what kind of things that we need to do about this and that? Or most of the time, if it's on the Airbnb. So I would say. So wait, I will open some of my paper. So wait, it's a little bit locked. Yeah, so my suggestion about the library, the content it should be about the bigger, about the Toolkit, about PRM, Airbnb, booking source, and also yeah, it's something like that. I would like to actually have a another discussion with you guys. What things that we actually need to be put on the library itself. I would like to hear from since Cynthia is still typing. I would like to hear from maybe Jing.
Okay. I think this is actually a pretty interesting idea. What problem are you trying to solve, Andre?
Every time that we have a best practice, we gonna just lose it and not.
Very good, very good, very good. Okay,
New people.
all right, very good. Um, let's see. Let's see. How would I do that? You know what? Um, Stick with the SLAs, right? The SLAs are essentially what the goals are. Okay.
Mhm.
And what drives the SLAs is essentially your best practices. Okay. So your best practices are kind of, how would I say? They're sort of there. Um, the best practices are in your pivots. The best practices are in your pivots. So let's say, for example, you're trying to convert inquiries at a certain percentage point, right? At 15%. So you're doing whatever you're doing right now, and it's not happening. It's at 5%. So you're gonna know that you're not in a best practice from your SLA. You're targeting 15%, but you're achieving 5. You're going to iterate through a lot of different ideas and a lot of different methods to arrive there. Eventually, you'll probably reach that goal, right? Eventually, you'll steady state there. But what got you to that point? What got you to that point was your pivots. You came up with a pivot. The pivot supported the campaign, and the campaign supported the SLA. So, in some ways, I would say just kind of like think from the service back up, right? If you did notice that, for example, let's say there's a certain good way of engaging with guests, right, during their stay, then make sure there's an SLA for that. Make sure that at least internally there's a good SLA for that. Start from that. That's your first foundation. Then the next step is to define what the job description is. So I want somebody who, let's say, checks in a guest to just check up on them from time to time, make sure that they're okay, and introduce the local specialties and the property to them, right? And then the training material then comes in, right? Okay, so if somebody new comes in, how would they be able to pick up this SLA in the shortest amount of time? So then stick that training material there. Um, Creating a library is just a support. It's scaffolding, right? It supports the SLA. And I think ultimately what you really want is it's not static. Meaning, if I gave you, let's say, the manual on how to fly a drone, I said, okay, here's a piece of paper, read this piece of paper, fly the drone. You might not read the manual, right? You might not even actually take it from there, but it should be there just in case you need it. What you're going to need to do, generally, that I've noticed, is you're going to need practice. You're going to need people to practice, practice, practice. They're going to need to probably fail a few times, and then they go back and they read the manual, right? So you just get the training materials ready. For the training materials, so that you don't lose best practices, it should be being constructed as you're creating a pivot, right? As you're creating a pivot, that is the training material. That is the follow this plan that I took 4 months to create, and that then becomes the way that you shall. Remember what I just said earlier, right? About the funnels, and we track an activity, and not necessarily like okay, what is the guest outreach? What is whatever? You just track that activity, right? Shintia's activity. So that's it then. That is what the new person will do. The new person will just do Shintia's activity once it reaches a steady state, and that's what produces the end result if they are doing it right. Okay. So you need a library, but I think it's also you need reading to happen in the library, not just people go to the library, they sort of chill, open their phones, do social media, but you need kind of like that reading to happen too. So I would just say think about it in a structured way. Think about the SLA, think about the job description, but even before that, think about the skills that you want, right? So that when you do bring on a new person, you don't bring on a person who's like skilled in a different subject than what you're necessary for. Okay, for the most part, most HAR skills, I think, are regular human communication skills, right? Talk to the guest, okay. Try to persuade them to stay with us, okay, right. But yeah, I support this idea of the library. I like this idea. Record these best practices. But what I'm also saying is that the library should be developed as you're innovating your new pivots. That is the library, right? When you develop your pivot, you have documented how to do a certain thing, how to do a certain service. And that is what you train your successor to do. Does that make sense, Andre?
Yeah, I also say that the library should be updated time by time, sir. So
Yeah.
because we want to see the best. Let's say we have this for now, and then the next day we have another things that more best for us. Like also, actually, VD that said this to me, the library. So yeah, it should be updated all the time. If the time we have a new pivot that we think is should be put it on there, and it will make easier delegation. Let's say new member, you take a look on this. We
Exactly.
have this as our best practice in the other way, or special case that we need to fix is about this or this. So that's it, the idea, sir.
Okay.
Thank you for the breakdown. I think
Okay.
based on the SLA is the best way. We can just break down. Yeah, that's on the SLA. This is things that you have to do on this SLA. This thing. Yeah. Yep. That's sir. You have anything others to answer? I think you want to say something.
A little bit. Just I know normally what we think about is we think about this, right? We think, okay, new person comes in, we train them, and then they do the task and such, right? Think of it from bottom up. The task is there, or no, it's not a task because it's a service. It keeps on running. Task finish. So the service is there, and then somebody needs to invent the service, right? Somebody needs to perfect the service. Somebody needs to deliver a service quality. That's what you guys are doing. That's why you have campaigns right now. You're trying to perfect the service. What do I need to do in order to get it to work? So you're not actually teaching a library. You're teaching a method. You're going to teach Andre's method to get perfect checkouts, right? Cynthia's method to get 50% reviews, Nadine's method to get 15% conversion rates. Once the method has been developed, you just need to document and train the method. And that is your library. That is your knowledge source.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I think this, yeah, I think that's clear about it. Also the SLA things. See, actually, we still have 3 minutes here, but we still have one discussion from Cynthia. Maybe we can discuss later tomorrow. I'd like to do something interesting. Can I ask for feedback from the new people here, whether if they understand about things that that we did. I mean, to let us know about whether it's already simple or whether it's easy to understand to other people like that. Can I do that, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. But this is actually a good point, Andre, to understand about ZPD. Okay.
Yep, yep.
So when you ask a question like, "Hey, Nadia, did you understand what we talked about?" Nadia will probably go, "What?" I don't know what she'll say, right? But we also know the hierarchy of competency, right?
Oh yeah.
So a lot of people, when they're first interning here on their very first hour, very first day, they're going to be unconsciously incompetent, meaning
Oh,
that they don't know that they don't know. So as a leader, you're going to have to figure out a way to actually gauge what's their level of competency, right? Are they Do they know that they don't know these things, or do they not know that they don't know these things? So this is where you apply the Socratic method in detail, right? So if you want to find out about feedback, you're gonna have to ask people, hey, can you tell me about how Nadine is doing on her SLA, right? Questions like that, because those questions force understanding to either happen or not happen. And then you and the person you're instructing will be clear what is their degree of competency. So give it a shot, Andre.
I think yeah, it is. It's the best way to understand the other people as ZBD as well. And I think it is since it's their first. I think we don't really necessarily to do that. Or now, maybe later on, we will ask.
Try it out. Try it out. Your intention is really good, Andre. You wanna check if the interns have understood. You just have to pick the right questions. You just have to pick the right questions, right? The wrong type of questions are: did you understand? And was that easy for you? Right? Everyone's going to be like, yeah, I guess so. Or I have nothing really to compare with. But the right type of questions are like, what did you understand? What did you understand? You have to kind of like probe to figure it out. But just give it a shot, Andre. I'd like to see how you do.
I would like hear first from maybe Abrar. I would like to ask Abrar whether if do you ask from the things that we did on HAR, what things that you understand about the flow of doing the what? Yeah, I want to know what's your takeaway about us doing this kind of stuff.
Okay, so from my understanding is so actually I'm a bit confused right now. So I just want to see like the flow. So currently, for now, I'm still trying to understand what you discuss about. So like what I seen here, like you are talking about making some HAR library, and I don't know what is that stand for, like HAR. Maybe you can just elaborate more, because some words that we don't really know. So maybe yeah, for us to get to know more, it will be easier for us to know by explaining what is that means. Yeah.
Yeah, some broad, some simple explanation first, yeah, or yeah, discussion or something.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's yes, sir.
Actually, we noticed something, Andre, and this could be a great engagement opportunity in the future. We don't chat in the chat group, right? Nobody's chatting. So I would like to actually open this up in the starting from right now. If you're an intern shadowing me today, if there's any term that you don't understand, just write it into the chat group and post it up. Remember, you're here to learn, so don't be afraid to ask questions, right? If you don't ask any questions, probably not going to learn. And remember, our mission at this company is to inspire delight through hospitality innovations that positively transform our guests, our partners, and our employees. We want you to positively transform, and so part of that process is you're going to have to tell us what part you don't understand, so that at least the knowledge transforms. Okay, Andre, this is great. I really enjoyed having this opportunity to speak and to define SLAs with the group of interns and with the HAR as well today. We're going to need to move on. I have a discussion with Bayu at this moment, but yeah, let's cover what we can cover tomorrow again and see how closely we are to the new campaign standard. And maybe book a time with me later, yeah, so that we can talk a little bit more.
Yeah.
Or actually, maybe you can follow me to the next discussion with Bayu. This might be a good time to actually discuss that.
Okay.
Yeah, follow me to Bayu. Yeah, that's fine.